Maybe I should start using Reverend Lisa's language, beloveds. But it's not really me, you know. I'm kind of more down to earth. But there you are then. I was going to get on with today's reading. I hope you're enjoying this month's readings by Reverend Jesse. He's pretty good at explaining Ernest Holmes. As I've said before, sometimes his explanations are really not much different than Ernest Holmes, and sometimes they're a little bit hard to grasp. I know for some people complain about that. However, today, yesterday, the day before, I think they're all pretty straightforward. So this one, I think, is straightforward. Let me know if you don't think it is. First quote is from Hafiz, who was famous Middle Ages Persian poet, very famous, along with Rumi and others. And this one I like. This one I've heard quite a few times before. Ever since it heard your name, joy has been running through the streets trying to find you. Ever since it heard your name, joy has been running through the streets trying to find you. And Ernest Holmes, in, I don't know this publication, Think Your Troubles Away, on pages 19 and 20. By the way, if you want to get a lot of these Ernest Holmes publications, especially some of the ones that are kind of more obscure, then scienceofmindarchives.org, scienceofmindarchives.org is the place to go. And if you're a member, you can get a lot of stuff free. If you're not a member, the prices are fairly reasonable to buy stuff. And this is from there. Science teaches us that there is not an atom of our physical being that was in it even a few months ago. Is that true? I don't know, but Holmes says it is. We can say this: we were born anew in this day, and we will be born anew in the next. A year from today, if we were to return to the same room that we're in now, except for the mind that brings us here, we would not bring anything with us in our physical bodies that we have with us right now. He goes on to say, I don't see any reason, theoretically at least, why a person couldn't heal themselves of anything, given time, if a new mold could be furnished. This is not just a metaphysical abstraction. In Hebrews 11:3, often attributed to the Apostle Paul, and who may or may not have written that, it says, things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. What we see comes out of what we do not see. In other words, it comes out of the unknown, or like Plato said, there is the original idea, which is a spiritual idea that is reflected in the physical world, but it's reflected imperfectly. This is what Reverend Jesse says. Everything cycles around, but being born of the Spirit, quote unquote, means even more physical rejuvenation. It's a complete rearrangement of our priorities. Of course, he's taking this in a different direction, see. As we grow into full realization of our spiritual natures, we're inspired to take better care of ourselves, treasuring our bodies as holy temples and making wiser choices on their behalf. With this comes managing our emotions more smoothly, dwelling on fewer resentments and regrets, and increasingly living in forgiveness and trust. While we often think of personal healing as being the recovery from some illness or some injury departing, and of course it can be that, it's also befriending the unknown. That's where everything we now cherish came from, and it's where we're heading by the minute. So what do I make of this? Well, the affirmation probably helps here. In this knowledge of the presence, with a capital P, I know that my spirit is free of all limitations. In this knowledge of the presence, I know my spirit is free of all limitations. So how can we possibly make use of this? Well, we can make use of it by, I think, by trusting that when we pray on a regular basis, when we go into meditation, quiet time, prayer on a regular basis, we become more grounded and more secure in who we are. When we're more secure in who we are, we build that strong foundation that can withstand anything. So when things come along to sweep us away, they don't, because we've built that strong foundation. And you can see this in a lot of examples of people who've overcome major, major things because they had that strong belief. But it's also acknowledging the fact that things continually change and that we don't want to be stuck in the present, either with our present ideas, our present ways of doing things, that we should be open to change. Somebody once said the only thing that's constant is change. So I think that this just gives us more grounding in knowing that whatever happens, we can deal with it. And just knowing that change is okay and it's good and it's just evolution moving forward. So that's my take on this. It's pretty short. I hope you got a chance to watch the service this morning, which was pretty interesting. We didn't have much music. In fact, we were not going to have any music this morning because our musicians were all away. We were going to have much more poetry from Daniel Mercadal. And then the last minute, Brian, one of our musicians who comes whenever he can, appeared, picked up his guitar and played some music for us. So it was kind of cool. So if you normally don't watch the music, watch it today because Brian was pretty good. And I always recommend to people, watch the beginning of the service. A lot of people duck that and they start when Reverend Jesse starts speaking, and then they duck out once he's finished speaking. That's okay, but you do miss a lot. For today, you would miss Daniel's poetry. You would also miss the song Great Wave, which led us into the meditation, which was also pretty good. So watch the whole thing today. You'll get a different picture. And if you already watched it, fantastic. If you didn't, hey, Creative Life Spiritual Center's Facebook page, also on YouTube. You can watch it again. You can watch all our past ones, actually. I don't really have much more to say except enjoy the rest of the weekend. We still have to do a little bit of shopping today. I remember when I was a kid years ago, we didn't go shopping on Sunday because all the shops, the stores were closed on Sunday. And it really was a day of rest. Nowadays, it's really not. And I think some of the stores are really crafty because, for instance, Costco arranged, at least this time, and I think they do most times, that their cycle of stuff that's on sale or reduced in price ends on a Sunday. So it's probably some way that they want to get people back in on a Sunday to do that. And I guess Sam's Club does similar things and all the other stores around here. So I'll be back tomorrow at 5. Reverend Lisa will be on tomorrow morning, 9:30. And all of us are here really to serve you and to help you. How can you help us? Well, lots of different ways. If you make a financial contribution, thanks very much. If you've never made one, we would appreciate it. And also, just give us a like on wherever you watch this, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, wherever it turns out that you watch this, give us a like. And also, pass it on to other people. Share it. Share it on Facebook, share it on Instagram, share it on LinkedIn, share it wherever you are on social media. So until next time, thank you very much for watching. Really appreciate it. Until next time, namaste.